Alright guys, the point of this video is to show you how to create levels for the game if you ever decide you want to fiddle around with making level sizes and all that kind of stuff. I'll start with the basics on just setting it up and then building an actual level, and then after that I can get into more detail, or I will get into more detail with things like setting up guards to patrol and all that kind of stuff. So starting with setting up the project, I've already done it on my end. You can do it one of two ways. One is through SourceTree, and the other is that you can just go to GitHub directly and download the zip file. I'll just get up. So on GitHub here, just go into the stealth game link. There should be one in Discord, which is pinned in the general channel. Just get that up here, pins, and that's just this right here. So you can just jump here, and then this is the link that will take you to this page. Now on this page, there's a green button here, clone or download. You can download the zip here, and then you'll be able to set up a Unity project normally. Put the file on your desktop, and then just open it through the Unity intro. If you're doing it on SourceTree, if you don't know how to set up SourceTree, you can pretty easily look up some tutorials for it, so I won't be going through any of that much detail. Most of you should have it already set up at uni anyway, but if you want to set it up at home, just look up tutorials. In SourceTree, it does look quite convoluted. Really, all you need to do is, this will usually be what it shows up with first. If you don't have the branch level creation kit, then you can find it by clicking remotes over here, and then you click origin to open that, and then you should be able to find it somewhere within here. For me, it's just here. And then you can just double click it and it'll automatically show up in your branches here, which means that you've now downloaded it remotely onto your local computer. So when in this one, if you do get a red alert up here that says pull, doing that will update your Unity project with the current one. It might result in you losing progress if you've done any stuff, so just make sure that you haven't done any changes. You can check any changes down here, or you can click file status and it'll show unstaged changes here, meaning you haven't said that you want to commit that. But committing is a whole nother thing, and I won't be going through that. Now let's just say you've got your Unity project set up. In the Unity project, in the folders here, you should be able to find the scenes folder. Most of you will have it show here as well, but just double click that. Then there's a folder level creation, and now I've made a folder for everyone to put in levels that they've designed. The scene out here is a template scene, but you should also have one of them in each of your folders. I'll just go into my one here. Yeah, there it is. I might change it so that you won't have this template in your own folder. Don't worry about that too much. You can just always access it from outside your folder. And I'll go into my template one. Actually, no, sorry. What you should do whenever you're creating a level, click the template folder, Control D to duplicate, then rename it. You can press F2 as a shortcut, or you can right click and where is it? I can't be bothered, just F2. Test level is what I'll just call it. I've already made 3 here, but I'll just make a test level for this tutorial. So open that up. It'll take some time probably. But yeah, when you're making these levels, you should keep in mind that everything should already be... Oh, here we go. I will get to it now. So I've set it up the scene. Let me just turn that on. Turn that off. All right, just to make it easier to see. Now I've separated into sort of 3 chunks. This big thing here, that's just part of the UI. Ignore it. When you're clicking on something, try not to click on anything within this sort of thing bar, because you'll end up just selecting UI canvas stuff. But anyway, usually when doing this, I like to gizmos up the top here. And then I like to turn show grid, because we already have a grid in our level from the tiles and it can get quite confusing. There we go, much better, and the grid will still show on the tiles. So yeah, this here is the floor of the game. I'll show you how to fiddle with that in a second. This is all the prefabs that I've made so far. There are some here that aren't there, or there are some prefabs that aren't there. And so in order just to make it easier to update, that's why I'm considering deleting the template scene from each person's folder, just so I only have to change one at a time, which will be the one that is outside here. But anyway, and the third thing is there's walls here. If I just click that here, in the hierarchy, there's north, east, south, and west. These are the appropriate walls you'll have to move to the appropriate sections, because there's certain collider issues so that the invisible stuff can pop up in walls. So this one, the colliders are on the back, on the front, where this one they're on the back, and there's specific reasons for that. Now creating a floor, you can click that, it'll take you here, or you can just go to grid. As you know, you can probably see, there's a bunch of colliders on the edge here. That's again similar to the walls. It helps allow players, or we need to do that in order to let the invisible icon show up on walls. And I'll go through how to make a grid. So when making a grid, you only have to click this parent object up here called grid. In the inspector, there's a bunch of stuff. The only things you guys need to worry about is that there is this grid size variable. There's an X and there's a Y, and that's how many tiles across and how many tiles long ways. So rows and columns that it will make when you generate. So let's just go 7, 3, and then when you're happy with it, hit generate grid. Make sure you're always doing 2 extra so that you can do this invisible thing. So hit generate, and there we go. There's my floor. And so I've made a 7x3 grid. Or because we have to do the invisible boxes, it's really, all these ones will be invisible, so it's really only a 1x5. So I might want to change that. So let's actually make it bigger. Let's go 14, 8. Now let's generate again. And look, it's made another one. If it does clip through stuff here, you can move this grid object. Feel free to do it. Make sure you're always snapping things though. For this project, because our grids are 2x2 in width and length, you want to change your snapping settings. So in assets, I don't remember where it is. Oh yeah, in edit, up the top left, snap settings at the bottom. Here are the snap settings. You want to change move X to 2 and move Z to 2. And that way, whenever you snap along the Z or along the X, it'll do it every 2 units rather than every 1. So this is my level. This is the one I decided beforehand to make it this big. I'm just going to quickly select the... Actually, let's just pretend... no, I should probably show you the proper procedure. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Turn over to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. can shift highlight, but that can be a little tricky. You might accidentally click other stuff, so make sure you're just doing control left click, just so you make sure you get all the tiles, and then go to the mesh renderer, turn off the mesh renderer, and then you get this nice little green grid. And now that's my level. There it is, nice pretty level. No, just kidding. Now you can put the walls on. This is the wall south, so I'm just going to drag it here, like so it's along the edge. Wall north. This is west. And this is, whatever this is. What is it? Something. East. Right. And then for these, feel free to like delete all the walls or add more walls that extend. Don't worry about breaking the prefab for this. That should be fine as long as you don't hit apply. You should never hit apply for any of the prefabs, because if you do, you'll change prefabs in other people's scenes, or maybe prefabs that I'm editing, and that can just cause a whole mess of problems. So whenever you're making stuff, feel free to duplicate things already in the scene, but don't make more prefabs, or don't edit existing prefabs. Do that, duplicate, 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 duplicate. And there we go, I've a walled off compound. Yay! Now, usually before using the props, with the exception of the door, like place the door in wherever you think the entrance of your level should be. As a handy note, just make sure like the door, because the door handle is here. If you want, you can be fancy and make sure there's enough room for the door to slide across, but yeah, it's like extra stuff, doesn't matter. As you notice in this one, or if I get my game scene here, there's actually nothing around the players. If you want, let me just chuck this somewhere visible. Oh, nope, not that. That's a lovely animation, Kim. There we go, I'll just put it here. Feel like you're more than welcome to move the grid. And let's just get these walls here. Feel free to select them all and just drag them so that the player pops up on the end. If you want to move the players, you can click. Make sure you've got the whole player. Just drag it across, put it wherever. I'll just drag this wall or door and put it back here. Maybe like that. And there we go, got a nice little door. Ragtime Heist, yay! Oh wow, Z fighting. Oh, it doesn't matter, no one cares. So now what I will do is I will grey box the level. Now the reason I'm grey boxing and not just chucking some of these assets straight in is so it makes it easier for me to move around. I can figure out the sizes of the level of stuff I want it to be. And then after that, when I figure out, alright, I want it to be, these walls are around here, then I can start putting the assets in. So I'm just going to create a random cube, 3D object, cube, drag it out of this thing. Where is it? 0, 0, 0. There it is. There's my cube. Now it's not on a grid and it's not the right size. Feel free to scale up to 222. That'll be the size. That's the size of every grid. All right, -5. Try and keep things to sort of the whole numbers as much as possible, so it's like nice and slotted in. And now I can use these as walls. So let's move that. So I can be like, oh, duplicate, 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 duplicate. I have like a wall thing here. Even though I did say don't drag any props, I do recommend dragging in just the safe somewhere, because the safe is the objective in every level, so you should think of a place to put the safe for that. If you're not too sure, don't worry about it. It's whatchamacallit. You don't have to do all of these steps. You can just make something that might look good or seems interesting, and then you can give it to me and I can fiddle with it, make it better. But if you want to do proper thing, I'm just going through the whole proper thing. So here's my safe. Let's rotate. Oh, that's right, the pivot's a little weird, isn't it? Damn it. Right, 10.5, 8.5. Oh, this is annoying. Fix your safe. No, that's my prefab. I'll fix it later. There we go. Rotating it makes it off the pivot. Yeah, I'll fix that later. Alright. Let's chuck the safe there. This green box here is the collider, and I'm just making sure the collider snaps nicely into the grid. Got that here. I might make more obstacles. Do that. You can, if you want, make some of the boxes down like this, and that's a step that players can step up because the player can step up. Sorry about that. Because the player can step up every 1 meter, so the player can theoretically step up here and then step up here. If you do want to do that, you can't just place objects with that height. You also have to do a little tricky thing, which is select the tile. Pops up in the hierarchy here. Open it. Click the nav node, and then drag it up so it's at the top of this thing here. And that way, that means the player can walk on top of that. Do the same for this one. Tile, nav node, up. And then when the player walks, they should be able to step up, step up. Let's just say this is my level. Otherwise, it's going to take too long. Close, close, close. Where is my guard? Now, oh yeah, handy trick. If you do accidentally click the grid and there's this massive line, rather than having to scroll up, left arrow key, left arrow key, left arrow key, left arrow key. It's really handy. Now where is my guard? Screw it. I'll just grab him normally. Ah, here he is, AI, right under the grid. So make sure you select the NPC base, drag him here. You've got a guard. Now I want to set a patrol route. I will use a visual example. Let's just make a sphere, 3D object. Now it's easier to set up these visual cues at first, and then when you're happy with the patrol route, you can actually set it up to test it. Alright, so let's say he's going to start there, then he's going to go here, and here, and maybe he'll go across here. He's like, oh no, wait, the player's there, let's change this. He'll go up here, maybe he'll go here next, here, and then there, and then back to here. Now, if you want to set this up, feel free to keep watching. If not, then just skip ahead. As to when, I don't know. Figure it out yourself. Now, for the guard, they have a lot of fancy script stuff. Most of it will probably be confusing. You can ignore most of it. The one you want is something. No. It is somewhere. Damn it. Wait. God damn it, I should have figured this out beforehand. Here we go. Alright, I found it. Alright. So look for the script, NPC script. Go to the very bottom to Agent World State. Open that. Waypoints, open that. Now this is a list of stuff, and this is basically each step of the patrol route. starting from the top and then going to the bottom. If you want to include his starting position as the very first one, feel free to set it at the start or the end. I'm just going to do it at the end. So his first one, I want him to go here. So I have to click this tile. Oh, shit. I forgot. To do this better, you can't just click the tile. Let's go back. Have the guard selected. Then there's a... Oh, you can't see it on my thing, damn it. Hold on, let's just move shit over. Whoa. Alright. That's better. Now, at the top here, there's a little lock. Click that to make it locked. That way, when you select anything in the hierarchy, it'll keep this as the guard, which will make things super easier for what's following. So I'm going to click on a tile, and then, alright, it's this tile. I'm going to open it, get the nav node, and then drag it into the first one. That's the first place he goes in his patrol route. Now let's go to the next one. Open, click, or drag. Can I just drag? No, I didn't think so. You have to open it. Open it, get the nav node. Open it, get the nav node. And oh, I ran out of space. I go to the size. Remember which the bottom one is 3, because if I then increase this to, let's say, 7, it's going to get 3, which is this one. It's going to copy that for all of them. So 4. This one is number 4. And this one is number 5. And last one, number 6, I'm going to have his original position. Because if you don't include his original position at either the start or the end of this list here, it's just not going to count it, and he's never going to go back there. You might want that, you might not. I do, so I'm going to do that. And now that's that. That's the patrol route setup. So if I press, let's get rid of this. Now I'm just going to save my test scene because saving is important. And now I am going to test this. Let's press play. Here's my little game. I like this music. There we go. There's, oh, you didn't see him, but I think Sam broke the thing again. Oh no, that's right, he's chasing me because he saw me. Right, let's fix that, because he saw me as soon as it started, because the guard has an amazing vision cone of about, I know, 180 degrees, so when he came here, he's like, oh, players, let's go chase the players. So let's fix that with the terrain. Just delete these circles, because they're going to get in the way. Delete. Alright, cube, duplicate, 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 duplicate. I think that's right. I didn't block any patrol. Oh, we'll find out, I guess. And I also feel like dropping this one down. I'll set the walkable later. Let's just make sure that the guard's working and patrolling on the route that I set. So press start, look at the scene. Yep, he walked there, walked here, and that's his turn finished because he ran out of moves. There we go, it works. Awesome. Oh yeah, pay mind, at any point, like, you can be like, oh, this is enough, I don't want to do anymore. Like, I'll be happy to go through the levels, and if there's something I like, I'll finish it up and do stuff with it. Now I'm just going to set the walkable for this thing I made. So select the nav node, drag it up, there it is. Now I have to do it for these 3 as well. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do a cheat. Yeah. Open them up. Nav node 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There we go. You don't have to do this for all of them. For example, this big block over here, because it's all too high, there's no way the player should get up, so you don't have to set the nav nodes at all. Now that that's done, now I can start dragging stuff into my actual level. So I can go, alright, this is 3 wide, let's delete that. Crate should be good, let's grab this crate, rotate, and I have a crate, ta-da! Rotate that way, probably looks prettier. Ta-da! And then maybe for these two, I want to delete that. I might want this tire stack. This one's a double long. Do that. Do that. There we go. I've got more stuff. And then I can just keep doing that for all these other blocks. Do this one as well because I want to show him climbing. Let's go this. This is a 1 high slot. No, it was here, wasn't it? I should really check, check where it is before I delete it. Yep, it was that one. Cool. Let's then get... I'm going to have some fun with this. I'm going to do this, even though this is only 1 high though. I'll grab another one. Rotate. And up by 1. There we go. I cheated. I might want to, because it is walkable on all those surfaces, I want to do that, and then I might delete this toolbox from it. Which is, it's fine to delete things from prefabs. Make sure that you, actually, I'd just recommend not doing it. We don't want to break anything. I'll be going through all the levels you make. If there's something off, I'll fix it. And so a problem like that with walking through the toolbox, I'll fix that when I get to it. So don't worry about it. And there was one more, which was, oh, it missed the snapping. Let's fix the snapping. Oh no, it's not there because it's still the guard. So unlock. There we go. Now it's whatever I select that shows up. So 7. That's not 7. I want 8. It was 7. 2. And there we go. That's that one. I'll ignore those ones for now. I can drag this in if I want. This is like the hovering beam of death. Not death, it does nothing. And that might be all the train bits done. Control save because I don't want to lose progress. It's not saving. Oh, that's right, no, it did save. Let's just double check. File save. There we go. Can also, I've got lights here as well. This light I usually always stick next to the garage door where the player enters. So let's just put that there. Yep, there we go. It should snap nice next to the door. Excuse me. And I also have lights here. This light has just the normal spotlight with the volumetric prettiness. So I can drag that here, but obviously I might want more than one light. So I can Control D to duplicate. It's perfectly fine to duplicate anything in the scene. In fact, I encourage it, including the guards. Maybe not the safe, but you could if you make a big level. So I might put one here, tell the player, hey, there's a safe here. Put one here, put one here, maybe. I usually like to use lights to encourage the players to certain areas or to show them that there's certain things they could do or certain things they could see. And I might put some stuff on, I might also just put this car on the wall, just because why not? It looked a bit empty. Room. You can put these beams in as you want. They should always end up in the corners of squares, and if that happens, then there's no way the player's gonna walk through them or anything. Feel free to be that square, that square, that square, or that square. Just make sure you can snap it for just nice and easy snapping. Move it. There we go. And then I might just put 2 beams in because this is a smaller level. So put one here, and the other one can just be in the middle of nowhere. There we go. Alright, that can do for that. You can also, this light is the one that shoots sparks out and doesn't actually shine any lights. So I might grab that. Let's delete this one and put that where that was. The lights you don't have to have snap because they're not on the grid. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't, it doesn't really matter. And these pipes, I've got a bunch of pipe collections here. You can drag these in and move them as you want. They are a bit tricky to get to the right position. They should, for the most part, snap to good positions. But yeah, if they don't worry too much about it. You can just set up basic pipe stuff. Will that break? Oh yeah, that broke. If you want to rotate that whole group of thing, you can create an empty object. Just move that out. Put these in it. Get the empty object. Wherever it is. Rotate. Actually, no, let me show it better. Rotate. There we go. And then maybe you can just manually move it so that it fits. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Don't worry about this flickering of the lights on the floor. That's not a big deal. Just make sure you then take these out of the empty game object, and you can delete that. Oh, apologies. Let me just... There we go. And yeah, let's say that's my level. There's something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter. That is pretty much it, how to make your own levels. If you do have SourceTree and you did get the project through that way, you can pop it up here in the file statuses. If you have changed any sort of metas like this, and this happened before you started making your levels, don't commit them. It should only have level changes, and these should be the only ones you commit, both the scene and the meta. So if you do have SourceTree, make sure you're on the creation kit branch as well. Make sure you don't have anything to pull. And then you can go... Actually, save the scene first, and then close Unity. That's the best way to do it. Now, go these two. I can stage selected after selecting them. Larger than 10 megabytes, that's not an issue. Don't worry about that. It just means that it's bigger than it would like to when it pushes up stuff. Now I've got these two. Now it's like, alright, I'm going to add these two when I push. Test level for tutorial. I'll probably rename the scene later when, because it might actually be a good level. Then commit, and then that'll disappear, and it'll put, hey, you've made a change. Push it. Alright, push. Make sure only level creation is the only one ticked. You shouldn't need to have anything else ticked. Or you shouldn't have anything else ticked, to be honest. Push. It'll push. Ta-da. If you did do it through a zip, I suggest then just getting going through the back end of the files. I will do that now. Can I open Explorer? Aha, I can. Awesome. Not liking me. Why is it not liking me? Open an Explorer. Ah, you're no fun. Alright. Let's go desktop, games. Shit, where did I put it? Right here. Maybe. Yes. Yes, it is. I am not a lost cause. Alright. Now, if I go scenes, presentation level, my name, you can, where did I put it? Test level. Get these two, put them in a folder, and then you can put it on the Google Drive or somewhere and manually give it to me, and then I can put it in the project and then upload it through the repository like that after checking to make sure nothing broke. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how you make the level of stuff. I feel like I've forgotten something, but if you have any questions, feel free to let me know on Discord, any of that stuff. And yeah, I look forward to seeing if the kind of levels that you guys decide to make if you decide to do it. Have fun.